So it's fun tracking him, but I'm only going to track him so much when I know it's so far away from him being here in Minnesota.
Definitely. So I got one last question about the Wolves here, but what do you think the issue with the Ricky Rubio situation is right now? My opinion, it just looks like he seems so tense with the ball every time he brings up the court, and I think I don't know what's contributing to him playing so different this year.
Well, let me start with his positive COVID test in the summer.
Yeah.
He's back. They've cleared him to be back, but are there any true lasting effects from COVID? I mean, it's just a reminder that COVID sucks, right? That it's taken Cat all this time, with the lung capacity.
Yeah.
There's other examples. I was watching HBO Real Sports last week. There's a WNBA player, used to play for the New York Liberty. She hasn't been able to pick up a basketball in 5 months. Like, she's alive, thankfully, but like life as she knew it doesn't exist anymore, right? So I know Ricky's out there, but is the potential of some lasting effects from COVID a possibility? I don't have that answer, but that is something I do wonder about. Then it appears like he's forcing things oftentimes, right? I mean, he's made a lot of careless passes that I don't remember him making in Phoenix or Utah. And then the shot, just not that he's been a good shooter, but he shot better. I seem to remember the shot being a little bit better the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And I don't see that. So, and then I wonder about just the shape he's in. So, I mean, is that a lasting effect from COVID that even 20 something games in, he's still not in the shape that he's used to being in? Like, he just, and I don't know if I'll ever talk about that, but that's just something I wonder about. Like, is he in peak Ricky Rubio shape? I wonder about that. I do. So I think it's a combination of a lot of things, but frankly, and it stinks to say this because I like Ricky the person, but that trade has been a failure. It has been. I mean, if you could go back and reverse that trade, you would go back and reverse that trade in a heartbeat.
Definitely. I just think the biggest thing I've seen with him is every time he goes in the paint, I feel like he forces something, or he takes that little one-legged floater jump shot. I don't even know what it is.
Not a pretty looking shot.
Dave Ben said it last night. He said Ricky might be shooting in the low teens when he's taking that shot.
Yeah, I don't know what the numbers are, but that sounds probably close to right. That goes back to forcing things. I mean, look at some of the lineup combinations that he's played with. And he might feel like with second and first year players that he needs to take more of the initiative, but that's not really his game. So it's just it's not a good match when he's on the floor with D'Lo. It's not a good match. I understand Ryan saying that in his system he really feels like multiple ball handlers is beneficial, but having those two in particular, it's not beneficial. Like, having Rubio and D'Lo together is a really bad combination. I just wonder if at this point, if you can use his contract, which is expiring after next season, so this might be more realistic in the offseason, not at the trade deadline, but can you use his contract in a trade? I mean, it's gotten to that point for me.
And that would hurt all of our all the Minnesota sports fans' hearts, but that might be the best move for the Timberwolves, honestly. And he just seems like he's playing out of character. I know you kind of said that, because like before this season, when I think Ricky Rubio, I think very smart player, like very assist to turnover ratio, very good. And then he just looked so, you got to think it might be like mental. He's just, he might be in his own head a little bit.
Oh, I think there's probably something to be said about that, right?
Just not looking confident.
They have, the Wolves have a sports psychologist on staff for a reason. Like, we don't talk about that side of things very often, but yeah, the mental part of things, 100%. I mean, I can't tell you with 100% certainty because I haven't talked to Ricky or anybody close to Ricky anytime recently, but sure. Is it fair to opine about that? About him getting into his own head more than he has in years because of this roster, that he doesn't have the surrounding cast he had in Utah or Phoenix, that this is a completely different animal in so many ways for Ricky? Yeah, I think, Peyton, that is